First of all, I want to say thank you all for joining yet another Zoom get-together. I know there's a lot of them going on around the world at the moment, but I kind of like to think that this one's a bit nicer because it's not really work-related and it's more, fun celebration. As I said earlier, I'm sorry I can't offer you a refreshment as we normally would at the awards banquet. So make sure your glass is full of whatever it is you want to be drinking. I've got some tea and some water because it's a bit early for wine and beer here. Oh, Sandy has water as well. And I think Shri has her 100 plus. I think we all also know why we're here. And that's because you have all done this incredible job of logging distances, incredible distances to move us basically across the globe in only 29 days. And it's been quite incredible. And there's a few reasons we decided to do this community challenge, which is a virtual challenge. And one of the main reasons being that unfortunately, we can't be at our races this year, and it's been quite disappointing for everybody. But as a way to bring us all together in this new virtual world, just for this year, because we are just going to be virtual for this year, is to have this community challenge. And one reason was to see how many kilometers we could do as a group to get from Ulaanbaatar, Mongolia, all the way to King George Island, Antarctica, which originally my course that I put together for you was about 25,000 kilometers, and you guys have completely surpassed that, and I'll go over the details a little bit later on. But when we first started putting the challenge together, just talking about it, we thought, oh gosh, people probably only put in maybe 30, 40, 50 kilometers maximum a week. And we have been seeing some of the biggest distances, weekly distances. Just this last week, we had someone submit 270 kilometers, who I'll also talk about a little bit later on. So it's been quite incredible. And the other side to this has been the fact that we've been raising money as well. So all of our race locations, we haven't been able to go to this year for all of the reasons that you are all aware of. We don't need to talk about, but COVID is what it is. And all of those locations have had struggles because they're no longer having their tourist income, and the different locations are just struggling to be able to support their different communities. So what we've done is set up a fundraiser where we are getting donations from you, and then we're able to donate to different charities in each of our race locations. And I will also talk a little bit about that in detail, just a summary, even though you would have seen from all of my emails all of those details, but I'll still go over them here because it's nice to talk through it. And one of the best parts of this challenge, I found personally, the part that I enjoyed the most, has been talking to people and communicating people. It's been people that I've missed because I haven't been able to see you this year. It's been getting to know new people as well that I have only just started to get to know and are now part of the Racing Planet community, which is great. And also being introduced to people that know more about Racing the Planet than I do. I've been put in contact with someone who volunteered with us all the way back in 2006. So it's been really nice getting to know people. That's probably my favorite part of all of this. And it just goes to show how amazing the Racing the Planet community is when we all come together, the wonderful things that we can do as a group. So let me just talk a little bit about who you guys are, because it's been quite impressive, the different countries represented. We've had people from 43 different countries, and we were just saying it was about 20 people from Japan. We've also had people from Germany, Tunisia, Hong Kong, USA, UK, Hungary, Poland, Australia, all over the world, just to name a few. And because of that diversity, we've been able to see all the different types of restrictions, lockdowns, confinement, self-sheltering, and quarantines that have been in place in the different locations. And people have been quite creative. So on one end, we've had, for example, Paul Radford in Canada, who had to go into isolation because he did do some work travel. And he put in 8 kilometers by running loops in his backyard. So he still got out there and did his distance by running circles. And then in France, there was also a pretty strict confinement rule where you could only go 1 kilometer from your residence. So then it would be little T-shaped runs in the city. And Roberto Rivola, who's in Switzerland, he was also under a similar 1 kilometer from residence confinement, but in Switzerland, because there's so many mountains around, he basically just went 1 kilometer up, which is quite a workout, especially in Switzerland. So we've had people being very creative about how they get out there and what they do. And that's one side of the world. And then on the other side of the world, we have a little bit more freedom, where in Japan, Chizuru, oh, I don't know if Chizuru is on the call. I don't
No,
think
she's not.
No, okay. She did the Backyard Ultra, and this, I think she put in just over 230 kilometers consecutive. It was a crazy distance. And she did it with, we found out later, a broken arm, which we definitely do not encourage people to be running or exercising when they are injured. But it's pretty incredible that she got through that. And she was in the top 5 with a broken arm. She found out, of course, after the race when her arm was hurting, and then she went to the doctor to find out it was broken. A bit of a crazy lady that we love very much. And Elaine Sandman in the UK, she was also confined to, I guess what they have are boundaries there, but still able to get out and see the beautiful countryside. And then we have Shri, who is on the call as well, who's been getting out in Singapore. And she mentioned this a little bit earlier, but I was going to talk about it anyways. For her final distance, she did a 12-hour run all on her own, all around Singapore. And she was saying through the MR25 courses. So that's, yeah, that's pretty incredible. And you're all just a little bit crazy, but we love it. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is our week 5, because for those of you who have been paying attention to my emails, I didn't send a roundup to let you know what happened on week 5. And it's actually quite an interesting story. So we started somewhere in the middle of Chile, and the total distance we gathered with this last, and also I know that week 5 was a short week. Some of you weren't happy about that, having to squish in your distance into 5 days, but it was a short week. The total distance, 4,852 kilometers, total time on feet, 675 hours, incredible, and 111 people were participating. The top 2 distances, Chi Pong Lee from Hong Kong with a mind-blowing 270 kilometers. And I did contact Chi Pong because that's a pretty big distance to do in 5 days. And yes, he had sent me his evidence, the screenshot of his app that he uses, but I still reached out to him. And he said, yes, I did all of that distance myself, my feet, no wheels involved. And the reason I did that was because I want to make sure I'm ready for Racing the Planet Georgia next year. And I said, okay, I don't think you're going to have any problem at all with the race next year. If you're doing 270 kilometers in Hong Kong in 5 days, you're ready. And our number 2 top distance for last week was Stefan Young from Germany, who I'm sure you've seen his name throughout all of the weeks. He's been putting in always about 140, sometimes a bit more, sometimes a bit less every week. So this distance did place us right about in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. And, you know, that had me a little bit worried at first, but then I remembered we're racing the planet and we have a backup plan for everything. So we had on standby the Plancius, which is a vessel, a boat, a motor vessel, sorry. And they were on standby in the middle of the Atlantic because that vessel is normally what takes us to Antarctica. So when you do the last desert, you get to Ushuaia in Argentina, you board the Plancius vessel, we take you across the Drake Passage, and then you end up going to all the different points in Antarctica where you get to be part of the race and run. Now, since all of those excursions have been canceled this year, the vessel was available, and so they were willing to be on standby for us, waiting just in case we didn't quite make it across the Atlantic. So they picked us up, we all got on board, hot showers, hot meals, and they took us to Swakopmund, where we are now virtually in Swakopmund for our award celebration, which normally takes place at the entertainment center. And for those of you who don't know, Swakopmund is the host town of the Namib race, which will be the first race next year in 2021, starting in April. So look at that, we're there. We don't have to worry about travel to get there. It's all sorted out. We're ready for 2021 races to start. And that is my story for what happened to us on our final week. And here we are. Give me a moment to have a sip, please. Okay, now we're going to get on to the other part that I'm going to go over all of the numbers first. So the total distance that we've achieved, 36,539 kilometers. It's quite mind-boggling, actually. When I said the original goal was about 25,000 kilometers, if we went directly through each point from Ulaanbaatar through each race location to Antarctica. So we've surpassed that. It was like that number didn't even exist, and we are now almost back to where we started. The total time on feet, which I also found staggering, 5,046 hours. That's almost 7 months of constant running, walking, hiking, 24/7, over 7 months. 318 people came together from 45, sorry, I think I said 43 earlier, 43 different countries. I've had over 300 amazing photos submitted from all of you from all over the world. And very cool, through all the generous donations, we've surpassed our goal of 6,500 and have raised $7,275, which is quite incredible. So all of the goals that we have, we've completely smashed, which is amazing. Again, a true testament to the community that is you guys. So I'm going to talk a little bit about each of the charities in the different locations where all of your donations will be going towards. Oh, sorry. First, I'm showing just a few names of people who've donated. I'm not going to go through everybody, and this isn't everybody, but just some of the people who have generously donated. Now, the charities. So the first charity that is receiving a donation from us is called the Mongolian Banghar Dog Project. And what they do is train those cute little puppies to be livestock protection dogs. And then they are placed in the homes. I shouldn't say homes because it isn't really a home. It's since they're a nomadic family. It's kind of moves around, but placed with nomadic families that take care of livestock. And then those dogs can help to protect their livestock. So we were introduced to a Mongolian family, which is very close to our course in the Gobi March, through Jacqueline Eastridge, who is a Four Deserts Club member and spent 2 years volunteering in Mongolia as a teacher through the Peace Corps. And the family that she stayed with is a livestock herding family, and they've lost quite a bit of their livestock to some of the predators in the area. And the photos to the right is her family there, and you can see some of their livestock as well. So we're working to make sure that they can have one of these dogs to help protect their livestock. And we also hope to welcome the family to the finish line of the Gobi March next year. I've had a few people say they can't wait to meet the pup, but I don't think the dog will be able to be at the finish line. I think it will need to be working. The next charity is going towards Georgia. So Georgia is where the roving race will take place next year. And this will be going specifically towards the Javakheti region, which is where our course will be. And we're working with Georgian Eco Tourism Association to help empower children and young adults, specifically in the different villages along the course, through sports and education. So what will happen is when you are out on the course in Georgia, you will be passing through so many different villages. It's quite culturally diverse. You probably would assume that Georgia just is full of Georgians, but and especially in this southwest corner of Georgia, we have Armenians and Greek and Russian descendants and traditions, and every little village you go through is quite different. So we will be helping to have, for those children and young adults, to have access to sports and education. And also some of those young adults, not the children, will be joining us for different parts of the race. So that will be very cool to meet them next year. Now, Namibia, where we are right now, we are giving to two different charities. The first one is the Desert Lion Conservation, and that's founded by Dr. Philip Stander. For those of you who have been to Namibia, you will probably have met him, and he works to protect the lions in Namibia. And I think I see Koji's getting interested because we were just talking about Namib race and doing safari. So we have just recently changed the course in Namibia because where the course was before, the lion activity was getting a bit more populated. And so we've now shifted the course, that's one of the reasons, to an area where there's not lion activity. But we will still be working with Dr. Philip, and he works, like I said, he helps to conserve the lion population in Namibia. And one of the recent issues that he's had, I'm not sure if you can see his vehicle, the bottom right-hand corner, the picture there, he had some vehicle issues recently, and we're able to help him fix that up, which is quite an important part of what he does. He needs to have his vehicle. And the donation is being split then with also the DRC School Project and Community Center. So this organization supports Namibians who've moved from the north to the coastal town of Swakop and provides a place with electricity, running water, and educational opportunities. Specifically, we're giving to the school project, so we're helping fund teachers' salaries, provide meals, and also the upkeep of the playgrounds in this community. And this project was introduced to us by our alumna, Annem Swart, who's been putting together Zoom exercise classes every Wednesday to raise money for this organization as well. And she does those classes with Mike Williams and Nat Steele. Mike Williams has done a few of our races, and Nat Steele has volunteered. So another example of our really cool community coming together to do good things. Next one is for the Atacama Crossing. So for those of you who've been to San Pedro, you know it's a very nice little town, but they're at the moment, just like all the other places in the world, it's been completely closed off and there's been no tourism, and tourism is one of their main sources of income. So their small medical clinic, the Posta Medica, is in need of supplies to support them through the second wave of COVID, and we will be helping them to get what they need in order to be able to take care of their communities there. And finally, we have the UK Antarctic Heritage Trust, and this is the one, this organization is for Antarctica, obviously. And this works to conserve and educate about the history of Port Lockroy in Antarctica. And this will be one of the stops that we will be making during Last Desert 2021, which is pretty cool that we'll be able to see firsthand the conservation work that they do and what we've contributed to help that organization keep functioning. Okay. So that is the roundup on all of the charities we are supporting. Now I'm going to start talking about the winners of the challenge. But remember, you are all winners, and this wasn't really a very strict competition. This really was about us all coming together, having fun, doing what we wanted to do, and seeing how far we could get. And like I said before, these distances are amazing. I'm blown away by the number of people who are doing more than 100 kilometers a week. So it's incredible. I've also really enjoyed all the creative ways that people have been tracking their distances. I've seen notes on paper bags, spreadsheets, random pieces of paper, screenshots of so many different running apps that I didn't even know existed. I've been doing lots of research on different running apps. Lots of pictures of watches as well. So it's been pretty cool to see how people are getting out there and how they're tracking their distances. Okay, so this is, move you guys over here. Right, so we have our top 10 biggest distances. In 10th, from Hong Kong, is Fei Ling Olivia Look with a total of 424 kilometers. Just remember, this is over 29 days as well. Only 29 days. 9th is Cole Crosby in the US, 442 kilometers. 8th is Naoki Shimizu, who is Naoki, yeah, there he is. Naoki's on the bus. From Japan, 454. 7th, Chizuru, who's not here, I don't think, 503 kilometers. Madeline Hamburger from Germany, 530 kilometers. Raphael Fuchsgruber from Germany, 538 kilometers. Satiro de Oliveira from USA, 572. Katia Ratchet, who is one of our Four Deserts Club members from Lebanon, she's done 600 kilometers. In second place, Stefan Young from Germany, 702 kilometers. And the top distance over the 29 days is Stella Osterhoff from Germany with 747 kilometers.
So this is the first time we've had an overall female winner. So next we hope 2021 will have an overall female winner in an actual physical race.
Yeah, it's very cool. And actually, I think it's 50-50 here represented men and women in the top 10. It's very cool. Now, the other thing I wanted to also highlight are the top 10 longest time on feet. Now, I'm not saying the slowest because that doesn't matter. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just blown away by the amount of time that people have spent on their feet. And it's interesting because you'll see, yes, some of them are in the top 10 of distance, but not all of them. There's a few surprises there. So Chipong Lee, who I mentioned before, who did 270 last week, he's been running, walking, hiking 69 hours. Then Chizuru is here, also 69 hours. Tony Brammer, some of you know, Sandy definitely knows Tony. He's been clocking quite big distances, 71 hours. Karen Wei from Hong Kong, 74 hours. Marie-Paul Pearson in France, 76 hours. Yves Lortie in Canada, 78 hours. Satiro again from the USA, 80 hours. Fei Ling Olivia Look again, 82 hours. Stella, 114 hours. And Evan, who is my brother-in-law in the US, has put in a whopping 127 hours over the last 29 days. So it's a lot of time on feet. Again, so impressive. Makes my feet hurt thinking about it. Next one is our teams. I think you can probably already guess where everybody is. So we did have 13 teams join, which is quite a lot. And we didn't have very strict rules for them. We wanted you to gather as many people as possible and do as much distance as you were able to do, which is what has been done. And so we have ranked them according to who's accumulated the most distance. So 13, Never Alone from the USA. Team Scoot About, also from the USA. Run to Wear's from Canada, and I think it's really funny. Their name is Run to Wear, and their finish line photo, it was a picture of them underneath a sign that said the last steps. So I just thought it was funny. Run to Wear, run to the last steps in Halifax, Canada. The Holdsworth Hurricanes in the UK, that's a father-daughter team. Team Ultra Run in Spain. Some of you probably know Carlos and Angelis. They were a team, husband-wife team. The Sunflowers from the UK, Australia. No Country for 3 old men, but then it became just 2 old men from Canada. UC Davis Med Tent, that had quite a few of our doctors from our races, and also very cute, 4 kids under the age of 9, and they are our littlest, cutest participants in this challenge, and they were getting out there. They put in their 2 kilometers. It took 2 hours. I can only imagine how frustrating that was for their parents, but they did it, and they submitted their distance and time. It was very sweet. From Malaysia, KS4, I don't think we have anyone on the call who's from this team, but they did very well. And one of the participants, as I was going through all the evidence and I see all the different screenshots, one of his apps had like his little inspirational quote on it, I guess to get him to go out and run, and it said, "Rainy day, don't cry, don't cry." And he still went. I guess he wanted to cry because it was raining, but he still got out there and did his run. So I was like, oh, it's very sweet. FitLab's family from UK and Morocco. Team Japan Spirit. So here we go. That's you guys. I think it's Koji and Naoki. I don't know if there's anyone else from your team here, but you guys did a great job. 8 people, over 1,500 kilometers. Really well done. Incredible. And I think 2 of you guys have been in our races before. Next is Our Kids, which is a team that Tony Brammer was on, and he was trying really hard to recruit lots of people to try and catch up with the winning team, but he only managed to get 10 total on his team, but they still did quite impressive distance as well. And the winner overall, Little Desert Runners Club with 28 members from Germany, Switzerland, and Austria with over 6,700 kilometers. Quite incredible. And it's been fun following all the different teams as well. That's very cool. Next are our age category awards. So this is, oh, sorry, I'm just gonna have another sip. So this has been the first time we've had people under the age of 20, actually, which is quite cool, and we like that. And that was the whole point of this, was being very inclusive and wanting everyone to join. So our first winner for the female 9 and under is Naomi Samus. Hannah Law, 10 to 14. Deb Barber, I don't think she's on our call. She's in Australia, and she was the winner of the Atacama Crossing last year for 20 to 29. Tanya Schonenborn, Germany, 30 to 39. She's joined a few of our races and always ranks quite highly in them. Katia Rachid, I mentioned her earlier, from Lebanon, our 4 Deserts Club member. Madeline Hamburger from Germany, 50 to 59. Diana West from the UK, 60 to 69. She's also joined a couple of our races as a volunteer and as a racer. And our female 70 plus is Jane Fraser, and she was the woman I mentioned earlier. She was volunteering with us back in 2006, and this is the first time I've met her, which is quite cool. Okay, now for the boys. Colton Samus, 9 and under. Theo Ashby, 10 to 14. Zach Miles Hawkins, 15 to 19. Chigon Lee, 20 to 29. I don't think Chigon is on this call either, but he has also been at a couple of our races. Naoki Shimizu, 30 to 39 from Japan. Yes! Woo!
Naoki, you're like on the top 10 in the top team and in the age group. Amazing.
Satiro de Oliveira, 40 to 49. Rafael, 50 to 59. Tony Brammer, amazing. Oh gosh, 60 to 69. And our 70 plus is Koji Oku. I don't think Koji Oku is on the call, but oh gosh, he's just a machine. He's incredible. I received an email from him. I can't remember. It was week 1. No, it was week 2. And he hadn't submitted his distance. And he sent me an email and he said, I did 108 kilometers over 2 days. I was just too tired to submit my distance. I missed the deadline. And I said, you know what, Koji, that's okay. I will submit it for you. You are a machine. That is amazing. So yeah, those are our age category winners. Pretty incredible group of people. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the photos. So I've put together a photo slideshow, which tries to highlight all of your guys's, or most of your guys's photos, because there's been a lot. It does go through pretty quickly just because I didn't want to take up too much time, but we will be posting it online so you can look at it slower and enjoy it more if it does go by too quickly here. So just give me a moment while I share the correct screen with you. Whoops. Okay, sorry. Let me try that again. Slideshow. Oh, that's why. Okay. Oops. Okay, so that was the slideshow. I'm just going to go back into the other the other presentation, but it's been very cool seeing all the photos because we've had some really fun, inspirational photos submitted from all over the place. We've had couples and families and kids and so many dogs. It's actually made me want to get a dog because it looks like the dog is the best running partner. And also, I didn't realize, I don't know if you saw there was one photo that had a windmill in it, and that was from Japan. I didn't realize that Japan had windmills. That's quite incredible. So lots of things I was learning too from all the different photos. Okay, now I'm going to go back, so just bear with me again.
While Zaina goes back on it, I say that the last slide that was on there, saying about the fact that if you want to go far, go together. This challenge has really shown that some people have logged huge distances, but it's all the kind of 1 to 10, 20 kilometers all added together from the other a few hundred people that has really got us to 36,000 kilometers, which is incredible.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Okay, here we go. Sorry, I'm a bit slow on the Zoom here. Okay, so next I'm going through some photo awards, some of our favorite, my favorite photos, and just to highlight a few. So the most creative finish line photo that was submitted to us for this last week is the Waite Samus family photos. Now, I'm not sure if you can see that, but Brandy and Mike have superimposed their kids at the different finish lines that they have been at around the world. So it looks like the whole family was in Chile and Antarctica and Nepal and Jordan as well. So I have to say that is the most creative. And also Brandy, who is one of our medical directors at the races as well. You can see her there in the bottom right being very efficient at work with her under the desk treadmill. So not only the most creative finish line photos, but probably creative family. Next is the best selfies, and this goes to Andrea Morgan from the UK, who we found out this is Tony Brammer's sister, which is why his grumpy face is in a couple of these photos as well. But for the most part, it's her happy smiling face. The scariest photo for me, this goes to Elaine Sandman because she ran into Bigfoot during her run, which that would be really scary if that happened, which I'm sure that's not actually Bigfoot, but there we go. Most smiles, this goes to Takashi Kurakawa from Japan. I think that in every photo he took, he had a big smile on his face, and I don't think he's on the call though with us. I also was with him on the course of the Atacama Crossing last year and remembered that no matter what, he was always smiling, even when he lost his voice at one point. Most beautiful scenery. This goes to Lars Schweizer from Germany. This is really the most incredible photo. It almost looks fake, I know, except if you look down, you can see there's a hiking trail with people on it as well. So that's a nice place to be able to be putting your distance in. And the most picture-perfect running couple, this goes to Angelis and Carlos in Spain. For those of you who have been following on Facebook, you will have seen their posts. And really, they look like what I would like to think I look like when I'm running, which I know I don't. But they are quite the picture-perfect running couple. And the coolest photo is this one, which is Naoki again. But this is such an amazing shot with the bamboo. I just could not, I had to highlight it because that's a very cool picture. The next part, so this is really coming towards the end, is the Spirit Award and Sportsmanship Award that we normally have during our races. So those of you who've been to our races know that every race we give out a Spirit Award, which is what the name suggests, someone who's very spirited. And the Sportsmanship Award is really someone who's helping out others to get to their goal. So this time the Spirit Award goes to Keith Gayhart from the USA. Again, if you've been following on Facebook, he's been quite active and creative, and there he is ready for King George Island with his expedition meal. And that's also a photo of him at the Namibia race in 2018, where I also got to be on the course with him there, and he is a very positive person, always cheering people on. And for the Sportsmanship Award, this one goes to Team FitLab, which I didn't talk about much when we were going through the teams, but this is a team of 11 people, and only one person, one email address was in charge of submitting all the distances, organizing everything, making sure that everyone is submitting things on time. And that's Tina Brown. She was like the team captain. And I just thought it was quite incredible that she was managing all of these people, getting everything submitted, and lots of communication with me as well. So that is the Sportsmanship Award. So thank you very much. That's the end of the awards celebration banquet. But I do want to say that Sam also touched on it as well. It's been about the big distances, but if we were just going off of the top 10, we wouldn't have been where we are. It's about everyone contributing everything that they've done, from 2 kilometers. Oh, I think I've had someone submit 1 kilometer, all the way to their 600 and something. And without that, we wouldn't be able to have come together. And it's the same with fundraising. It doesn't happen with just one person. It's all about the community and spirit, and especially during such a strange time as well, where we're not quite sure what we're doing, where we're going, except that we're staying put. But to have these common goals to work towards with such a great group of people has been a lot of fun. And I said it in the beginning, but it's been really nice communicating with everybody, getting to know people again, getting to know new people. It's been good fun. And like I said, we're already in Namibia, so we're ready for the race next year. Might as well just stay here. Wouldn't that be nice? Sam, do you have anything you want
to say? Big thank you and big well done to everyone who took part. Really nice to have some of you on the call today. Yeah.